make it 5 straight winning days, guys. Another big day yesterday. Had a perfect game in the MLB. First since 2012. Herman gets that done against Oakland. Had some big winners last night. Biggest dog on the board. We had Colorado plus 185. Went and did that for us. 2 units there. John, got to be feeling good. 5 straight winning days. Had a rough start to June, but ending it on a big note right now.
Yep. It's a 162 game season. We keep preaching that this is a long distance marathon, not a sprint. So we're in a nice little groove right now. We keep telling you guys, this is the dog days of summer. We're at it. Always win every time at this year. 2 years ago, had one losing week after the All-Star break. Killed it after in June, July, and August last year. This is the time. 5 straight winning days, 12.3 units. Guys, these are real units, real money bet. 1 and 2 unit games. No 15 units on one game when you're getting stuck. 20 units. I don't have a 150 star bet. All 1 and 2 units games. So you can see the amount of winning we did. Like Ben said last night, the biggest dog on the board, the Rockies. I take some slack for that in my chat, on the app, on Instagram. Oh, the Rockies. Oh, the Tigers. Guys, with Rockies last night plus 185. It was Tigers on Monday plus 180. Yeah, they're going to lose more games than they win. We're going to make up for it with the prices that we take. Either trust the process or go to the pick vault. Pick vault give you all the 260 favorites in the world you want. And then he beats his chest about it. It's killing me. We're going to be on the Tigers again today. Today, as we'll get there soon. We sent out the Tigers first thing this morning, plus 172. This game is down to 137 right now. It's about value. I think I know what I'm doing. You don't want to bet the Tigers and the Rockies. You want to continue to bet the Dodgers and all the chalk teams. I'm the wrong guy for you. But yeah, in a nice little bit of a run right here. What I do want to talk about, Ben mentioned the perfect game. So the next time somebody guarantees you a game and they have a lock, think about what I'm about to say. So Herman, 27 up, 27 down. In his prior 2 starts, he'd given up 17 runs off, 27 hits in 5 1/3. This isn't even real. And then comes with a perfect game. He wasn't the only guy yesterday. Obviously, that's the perfect game was far and above. But Corbin and Davies both pitched 7 shutout innings between them, and they've given up 32 runs between them. Davies 21 in 10 2/3 innings, and Corbin 11 runs in his last 11 innings. Turn around on a dime. We follow the stats. The stats tell us who to bet. They certainly didn't tell us to bet any of those 3 yesterday. If you got a crystal ball, maybe you bet those. But this is what I'm telling you. Anything can happen. All we want is an edge. Our edge on the Tiger game. When we get down, as we're going to do the rundown, you'll see what I'm talking about. So why don't we get started, Ben?
Yeah, just one more on that note. You weren't here on Monday when I was talking about it, but similar kind of concept. Jordan Lyles this year, 0-15, goes on the road to the best team in baseball, gets the win against Tampa Bay. That was crazy over the weekend, so we didn't get a touch on that.
That's it. We need an edge. Our statistics tell us a story. And the story tell us that you like this game, that you've got an edge in this game. There's no edge in this game. Yeah, we were wrong with the Rockies against Kershaw. Not that we lost, just the way that we lost. Kershaw was dominant. Instead of he'd been getting crushed in Colorado, he went there and pitched the gem. But we were right yesterday. And when you take it 200s and 185s, you only got to be right. If I'm right 40% of the time taking 185, where can I sign that contract? Because we're going to bury the books at that number. So it's about the edge. It's about the percentages. And one more time, guys, I know if you're a follower and you watch the show every day, you may be tired of hearing it. But if I take an average of $1.50, okay, which we take average of higher than $1.50, but let's say I take an average of $1.50, I only have to win 40% of the games. That's my break-even point. Anything above that puts us in the black, and that's where we're going to be for the rest of the year.
If you guys want to join us there, being in the black the rest of the year, make sure you guys go to the How to Beat the Bookie website or download the app. Appreciate you guys who tune in all the time. Like, comment, subscribe. Really is a good time to sign up right now. This is the hot time of year. John, we got a lot of good games today, day baseball. So let's get this out to you guys as quick as we can. Padres, Pirates, first on the board. Padres ice cold right now, 4 straight, 2-7 their last 9, scoring just 2 runs per game. And then you have this Pittsburgh team who came into this series losing 12 of 13, now winning the first 2, scoring 8 runs per game. They've now won 3 of their last 4. This Pirates team, we've talked about it. They are hot and cold, and it looks like they flipped that switch. We'll see. They're a little bit banged up right now, but they've just been very streaky this season. So might be bet on this next week or 2 here for Pittsburgh. Something to look out for. Musgrove versus Ortiz. Musgrove's been terrific. 5 of his last 6 starts, quality starts. Had 2 quality starts versus the Pirates last year. And then Ortiz coming off his first career quality start, 1 run, 8 innings, 5 Ks, 2 walks. He had a great time out last time out against Miami. Pirates are nobody. Big old road price. Musgrove, yes, he has the pitching edge. He's been pitching terrific. Doesn't matter if your team's only putting up 2 runs a game. This is Pittsburgh or nobody.
Absolutely. Don't say the Pirates can't sweep them. When is everybody getting fired in San Diego?
Mm-hmm.
What they're putting on the field right now is absolutely terrible. They're the talent in that team is too good to be where they are now, similar to the Mets. But Ortiz coming off his best game of his young career, going 8 innings against the Marlins, allowing only 1 run. We'll see where this line goes. We already got the lineups. Don't know if you guys will be able to catch this before the game goes off. That's a 12:35 stat. But both lineups, everybody's in that could be in. I mean, Pirates, they put Hayes on the IL yesterday. Avangul. All right, I'm back with you. They put Hayes on the IL yesterday, joining Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz. So their 3 best players are on the IL, and they still buried the Padres yesterday. Pirates or nobody.
Yeah, this Pirates team, we'll see if they can pick up where they left off earlier in June. Then we have Brewers at Mets. Brewers get it done yesterday. They've won, 4 or 5 meetings? No, 5 or 6 meetings this year, 2 of 3 in the series. Milwaukee playing pretty decent baseball right now. Mets now just 6-17. Their last 23, not getting anywhere. Hauser versus Scherzer. Hauser, they've been kind of moving him around a little bit, was used in relief his last time out, split 2 starts against the Mets last year. And Scherzer, 5 of his last 7 starts, quality starts, in the last 2, 3 runs in 14 innings, 16 Ks, 2 walks. He's been looking more like the Mad Max we know. He's had great numbers at home. Want to come back with Milwaukee in this game. Just they needed a performance from Scherzer in this. I mean, obviously, 6-17 in the last 23, not winning any games. You got to get this one, try to even up the series here with Milwaukee. So spot on the series, big time here for the Mets. Don't want to be laying anything here with the Mets, so I'd still be Brewers or nobody. Just big pitching edge there. This is a game Ace has to come in and show why he's getting paid $45 million this year.
He has to, and he did show up the last time for Houston. He's actually showed up his last 2 games, both against Philly and Houston. Can he do it again against the Brewers? We'll wait to see what the lineups look later. Look, I am absolutely not laying the Mets. It's Brewers and nobody again. It's just a fact. Will I take the Brewers? Again, we talk about the sharp guys coming back on the same team. Why? Because some teams are undervalued and some teams are overvalued. Mets right now are just overvalued, and Scherzer himself is overvalued. Pitched better the last couple of times and pitches good at home, but already got smacked around earlier in the year by Milwaukee. It'll be Milwaukee or nobody. We've been on Milwaukee the whole series, and we'll stay so today. That game right now, you're looking at 185 to 190 is the number on it.
Then we have Phillies at the Cubs. Phillies won the first 2 in this series and 4 or 5 meetings this year. Now 3 straight, 10-3 their last 13, playing good baseball right now. Meanwhile, Cubs dropped 3 straight since they won 9 of 10. Walker versus Hendricks. Walker's been terrific. They've won his last 4 starts, 2 runs across 26 innings, 26 Ks, 6 walks, through 5.1 shutout innings against the Cubs back in May. And Hendricks, he's been very solid since coming back in, 3 earned runs, 19 1/3 in his last 3 starts. Was faced Philly in 21, was roughed up for 7 runs. This is a weird game to wrap your head around. Walker, he's had some road struggles. He's just been pitching a lot better recently. So take those road struggles from earlier in the season, bit of a grain of salt. Philly playing really good ball right now. Cubs having a little bit of a drop-off. To me, this game's Philly or nobody. I'm high on the Cubs this year. They've been very up and down, similar to Pittsburgh, now 3 straight. I have to give Walker the pitching edge the way he's been going. So it's Philly or nobody for me in this one.
I don't know if they're going to be able to sweep them. We'll see. Philly playing much better now on the road. Just generally, they win at home. They don't win on the road. Hendricks and Walker, great pitching matchup. Both pitching good ball. Hendricks, since he's come back, real nice. I like what I'm seeing out of Hendricks. Tough game. The line will depend on this one. Look, I went on the Cubs last night when they pushed the Phillies just high enough. Going into last night, Nola had pitched a good game his game before against the Braves, but he only lasted 6 innings. 4 of his 6 starts, for his prior 6 starts, he'd given up 4 runs or more. Just didn't see how they could push Nola that high on the road. They got the money. If they do so again today, I'd have to be on the home dog.
Then we had Dodgers at Colorado. Rockies evened up the series and now split the last 6 meetings in Coors Field. It's good. Did I say 4? 12 meetings.
Last 12, 6 each, yes.
Then it's going to be Sheehan versus Anderson. Sheehan, 2 career starts, both quality starts. First one was 6 no-hit innings. Last one, 2 runs in 6 innings over the Stros. And Anderson absolutely lit up. 16 runs. A perfect
game today, Ben?
Yeah, he just might. The way it's been going. Last 2 starts, 16 runs. What is that? And lost by a combined 39-7 to Atlanta and the Angels. So he has been getting torn up. I will say, even with those numbers, I am tempted to go to Colorado here. Sheehan, 3rd career start, put him in Coors Field. Yes, he's been terrific for 2 starts. Going to be a bit more of a scouting report on him now. Would be Rockies or nobody, even with those numbers for Anderson. I'm not going to back Anderson in this one. Just too brutal lately, but would be them or nobody still for me.
Yeah, just kidding about if he's going to throw a perfect game today. He'd be lucky to throw a perfect inning. We'll never go with those stats. It just says you got to stay off the game. There's some things you want to stay. A red-hot team, a red-hot blowout pitcher. There's the reason we stayed away from Snell last night. He was just been dominating too much, so we stayed off that game. So, yeah, I don't want to back an ice-cold pitcher he's just getting, it's beyond getting lit up. We couldn't bet the Yankees yesterday. I couldn't bet Washington or Arizona yesterday. With these pitchers on the mound, you're just getting, being hit and being destroyed are 2 different things. So we'll stay off this one. But yes, at the number would be Colorado and nobody. In this case, it'll be nobody.
Then Tigers at Texas. Texas won 2 of 3 in the series, 4 of 6 this year. Detroit now dropped 3 of 4. Rangers bats really woke up the last 2 games, scoring 9 runs per game after the 3-game skid where they scored just 5 runs. Olsen versus Bradford. Olsen, last 2 starts, pretty solid. 5 runs, 4 earned, 11 1/3, 17 Ks, 2 walks. That's a big note there. And then Bradford is going to be his 4th career start. So a couple of guys, only about 4 starts under their belt. He threw 0.2 scoreless innings against the Tigers as an opener. This has got to be Detroit or nobody. Big look ahead for Texas. They get Houston tomorrow. Stros have won the AL West 5 of the last 6 years. The one year they didn't was the COVID year. So it's really been their division for 6 years. And I got to imagine Texas has that look ahead, state rival, everything else. They currently have a 6-game lead on that. So big look ahead, got to be Detroit or nobody. And John, I know you told him already, we crushed the number on this one today.
Yeah, bury the number. Like I said, we were going to go with the Tigers anyway, regardless to what the rookies trying to give me advice say. The number was high to start with. It was made better. Look, it was a look ahead game. So we were expecting who's going to get a little rest today, day game after a night game with the big series. Look, the Houston series is big. That's an interstate rivalry, Texas-Houston, and that's going to be their main competitor down the stretch, the World Championship Houston Astros. Mm-hmm. So big look-ahead spot, and sure enough, they're going to sit Seager and Heim. Seager, 10 homers, 48 RBIs, 345 batting average. Look, that 10 homers of 48 RBI. Remember, he missed a chunk of the season earlier. And Heim, 11 homers, 55 RBIs. So 2 big bats out of that lineup. What we expected. Olsen, Ben gave you the stat. 17 Ks, 2 walks. Love that strikeout to walk ratio. Look, Rangers might destroy them, but plus 172 was stealing the number. Right now, it is now 11:37 as we're doing the podcast. And the best number you could take is 137 on this game. So it's 35 cents better than number.
And that's how it's done, guys. Beat the number, beat the books. We have Guardians at KC next. Guardians now lead the AL Central after getting the win yesterday. They won the first 2 in this series, 7 of the last 10 at Kansas City. And they're red hot right now. What is it? They're 7-2, their last 9 overall. Bieber versus Greinke today. Bieber, only 1 quality start in his last 5. A little bit of a drop-off. Last 2, 9 runs and 12 1/3. He's had some road struggles. 1-3, 4.58 ERA and 9 road starts. And Greinke, he's been struggling as well. They have lost his last 8 starts. In the 4 in June, 19 runs across 19 innings. He does have terrific numbers against Cleveland last year. Went 1-0, 1.19 in 4 starts. KC won all 4 of those starts against the Guardians. So he is a pitcher that pitches better at home. Bieber's been struggling, not the same guy. Maybe a little bit of a letdown hangover. You have the big 14-1 win last night. You take the division lead. So we'll see if there's any kind of a letdown there maybe from the Guardians. But to me, this game is KC or nobody. I get it. Greinke has been as well. You look at those numbers, though, what he did against Cleveland last year. Bieber, not the same guy right now as he typically is. Much like Herman yesterday, this could be your little bounce back spot where you just need to face one of the worst teams in baseball. You get your group back. Very possible for Bieber. Just have to lean to Greinke and KC here with those numbers from last season.
Yeah, it's just tough for me to pull the trigger on KC. Anybody else, this would be a great spot to get against Bieber. Bieber, more of what we've been talking about right now. Cover Bieber's name. Look at the stats. As I said, 1 quality starts in last 5. Last 2 starts giving up 9 runs in 12 1/3 innings. Those are the stats to look at. So while he's not the same, and the biggest part of that is Guardians finally jump over the Twins for first place yesterday. With the Twins loss, they win the game, and they win it in big-time fashion. We had Cleveland yesterday, and we crushed KC. This is the perfect spot for a letdown. Greinke good at home, but he's just been horrible lately. Excuse me, guys. He hasn't gone 6 innings this year. Just can't pull a trigger with KC. The tied for the worst home record. They're the 2nd worst team in the league. Just can't do it. KC or nobody, but it'll be nobody.
Then Yankees at Oakland, another team that has to have a little bit of a letdown today. I mean, you crushed the A's 11-0, and Herman goes perfect last night. So I have to assume there's a little bit of a letdown factor there for the Yankees today. Oakland now 2-11, their last 13. This is going to be Schmidt versus Caprillion.
They haven't announced Caprillion yet. That's what we think it's going to be, but it's not official.
So Caprillion not official in the box. Schmidt, he's been pitching well. Just the Yankees aren't winning with him when he's on the mound. They've lost his last 6 starts. And 4 June starts, he's 0-1 with a 2.53 ERA. Coming off a start where he allowed 1 unearned run against the best offense in baseball, the Rangers. Had a quality start versus Oakland earlier this year. And if it is Caprillion, I could be interested in the A's today because Caprillion's been pitching pretty decently. He gave up 4 runs in 6 innings last time out against Toronto. They won 3 of his last 4 starts. He's 2-0, 3.47 in June, 2 quality starts. So decent numbers, was roughed up by the Yankees last year. He's been pitching well lately. Just a little bit of a letdown factor here for the Yankees. You come off the first perfect game in 11 years. Have to imagine they went out last night, had a ball, get the big 11-0 win yesterday. So this is Oakland or nobody letdown spot for the Yankees. Have to see what's going on there. But Schmidt, just weird. It's kind of like the reverse of Weaver yesterday. Weaver's getting cracked every time out for Cincinnati, but they've now won 6 straight of his starts. Schmidt giving you great outings, and they've lost 6 of his starts. So we'll see if he can break that bubble.
No, they're losing a lot of them because Aaron Judge's not in the lineup. We're going to get that out every day just to show the importance of Judge. So Yankees now 14-17, hitting .211 in the 31 games that Judge missed. So just to give you some context, the Oakland A's have the worst team batting average in baseball at .217. The Yankees are hitting .211, so far beneath the A's. And as far as the standings, 14-17 is a .451 winning percentage, which would put them somewhere between the Mariners and the Tigers. So just forget what put you in a hand over the Yankees name and go by those stats. Hard for them to be this. No, these 2 games are just total letdown games. Should be Cleveland and the Yankees. Unfortunately, they're playing the 2 worst teams in the league with the worst home records. Just can't pull the trigger on those 2 home dogs, but it's the 2 home dogs or no one. Do not want the favorites going in that game, those 2 games.
Then we have White Sox at Angels. Angels won the first 2 games of the series. White Sox won it last night. Angels now won 4 of 6 meetings this season. Angels, they are now scoring 3.5 runs per game since the big explosion at Coors. And Chicago, they've won 3 of the last 5. Lynn versus Sandoval. Sandoval, they dropped 6 of his last 7 starts. The last 2 were better, but it's against KC at Colorado, so impressive at Coors, allowing 3 runs across 12 innings. Did have a quality start versus the White Sox earlier this year. Lynn, he was absolutely demolished by the Angels earlier this year. That's when Trout and Ohtani combined for 3 homers in that one. He gave up 6 runs in 12 2/3. Last 2 starts, Boston, Seattle. Slightest of leans here to the White Sox. I have to see what's going on with these lineups today. Ohtani hasn't had a day off in a minute, so maybe he's due for that heading into the weekend. We'll have to see. And we talk about it every single day with the White Sox. Tough team to get a read on. Never really know when they're about to turn it on. And as soon as it looks like they're legit, it's not happening. So going to be interesting to see what they get here. Slightest of leans to the White Sox in this game. Not a big fan of Sandoval lately, but staying away here.
This game is typical of the day game after the night game. I tell you guys all the time, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, always big days. I usually don't give out bets early because we're waiting for lineups. I did on the Detroit game because we had to move immediately on that game, knowing if somebody's going to sit, the big names are on Texas. If Torkelson sits for the Tigers, no big deal. Seager, Garcia, Seaman, these guys sitting for Texas was going to be big. So in this game, we're waiting to see if Ohtani's out, and they've already bet this game down like he's out. So this game is the biggest move of the day. Angels opened up at 161 on the overnight, presently at 131. 30-cent move. If Ohtani's playing, it'd be Angels or nobody. But let's see if Ohtani's in or out. If he's out, that is the right number now. It's all about the lineups, guys. That's a 407 game, so we don't have that lineup just yet. Should be getting it shortly.
That's Tampa Bay at Arizona. The D-backs below 1 last night. Give up 3 runs in the top of the 9th. They lose it 3-2. You have Tampa Bay, who's scoring and falling off a little bit. D-backs now drop 3 of 5. Little versus Fett. Little is going to be making his first start since 21, using it as an opener, one of these Tampa Bay bullpen games. And then Fett, he was horrible back in May. In June, and AAA was looking solid, coming off a quality start. So we'll see if he can kind of redeem himself a little bit from earlier in the season. Looking at pick him on this game. This is slightest of leans to Arizona. You blow that game yesterday. You want to come back here. Pitching edge, hard to argue against the Tampa Bay bullpen versus Fat. So it's probably got to give it to Tampa Bay bullpen actually in this one for me. Nonetheless, Arizona, after yesterday's letdown, they want to come back for a win in this one. Slightest of leans here to the D-backs. Going to be talking to myself and want to actually put money on Fat. He was just that bad in May.
Yeah, got to give the lean to Tampa Bay as far as the bullpen game. Nobody pitches as many, although San Fran's trying to catch up now with their bullpen games. But Tampa Bay's been doing this for the last few years. Nobody does it as well as them. This is another game, day game after a night game. Let's see who's sitting. Don't have either of the lineups in this one. I'm a pick 'em game if everybody plays for both teams. Tampa Bay, not the same team. We've been telling you guys that. There's been regression. 7-8 now, their last 15 games, scoring just 3.5 runs per game their last 4. So here comes Tampa Bay back to the pack. All of a sudden, look at the standings. Atlanta Braves, same percentage of baseball now that Tampa Bay, after Tampa Bay got off to that ridiculous start.
A big regression there. Then it's Marlins at Boston. Marlins, big look ahead to that matchup with Atlanta this weekend. They're 10-3 their last 13. They've won the first 2 in this series, combined 16-3, killing Boston so far. And it's just hot versus cold. Red Sox have now lost 6 of 7, scoring just 2.1 runs per game. Put this up on Instagram as the pitching matchup of the day, Luzardo versus Bayo. Bayo, 4 straight quality starts. Last 2 runs in 13 2/3 versus the Yanks and the White Sox. And Luzardo, 3 of his last 4 starts are quality starts. Last 2 runs in 13 innings, 14 Ks, 2 walks. He has struggled on the road this year. Team's hitting .309. To me, this game's Boston or nobody. Marlins, yes, they're playing red hot. Yes, Red Sox are ice cold. Big look ahead to that Atlanta series here for Miami this weekend. Bayo's been Boston's ace. You need your ace to be a stopper. And we'll see if you can stop the skid here going up against Miami. You add in Luzardo with the road struggles, put him in Fenway. It seems like a good get-right spot here for the Sox, look-ahead spot for the Marlins. We'll see if it plans out to that. I like Boston in this spot today.
Yeah, the line is what it is for a reason, and that reason is Red Sox that are ice cold. They've dropped 6 or 7 now, hitting just 193. They do hit better at Fenway, hitting 289. Yoshida's missed the last 2 games. He's going to be questionable again. Good pitching matchup. You just got one team that's playing well, one team that's not playing. Pick'em is right where I'm at with the game. Not enough room for me to make a call here unless we get the lineups later, and Miami may rest some people going into that weekend series. As of now, I got no play on this one.
And Giants at Toronto. Jays get the win yesterday, even the series like we touched on earlier. Jays ace versus Giants bullpen. Giants won it, and then it was Giants ace versus Jays bullpen. Jays win that one. It's going to be another ace for Toronto versus bullpen game today. So we'll see how it goes. Win going to be used as the opener for San Francisco. They've had a lot of success in these bullpen games. Bassett going for Toronto. Was looking like an ace earlier this year. Last 3 starts been horrendous. 17 runs and 11 2/3. 2 starts versus Giants last year. Gave up 13 runs, 4 homers, and 10 1/3. He has been better at home, but bad numbers lately. Bad numbers versus the Giants. Giants have had success with the bullpen games. Got to be looking at the road dog here in San Francisco. We'll see maybe the bullpen games go 3 for 3 in this series.
A crazy series, right? A bullpens beating the ace of the other team in the first 2 games of the series, and maybe we get more of the same. If you guys watched yesterday, we were talking about we were hoping Bassett would be the officially named the pitcher against Webb, just because of the stats that Ben just gave you. Meanwhile, it was Webb that got crushed right off the bat, and the game was basically over after that. What made us bet that game, as bad as Bassett's been, you still got to make him better than a bullpen game. But this is how crazy baseball is. It's an edge. We work with an edge, and that's it. So today's edge, Bassett, bigger name. But is he doing a better job than the San Fran bullpen? San Fran's now won their last 4 bullpen games. Bassett crushed his last few times out, banged both starts against the Giants yesterday with the number what it is. If all the lineups are good, yep. Excuse me. Let me back up 1 second because Conforto left last night's game, so he's going to be questionable. So I need that game to go just a little bit higher. If it is, it's San Fran and Owen. Definitely not betting Toronto and Bassett in this game.
And the last game on the card, Houston at St. Louis. Astros get the win yesterday. You get the big homer late from Altuve. That puts them up 10-7 to win that one. They're 2-3 on this trip right now, 4-8 their last 12. Meanwhile, the Cards, they've now lost 3 of 5, but they are hitting 280 this week. France versus Wainwright. Wainwright was roughed up in London. He was pitching a little bit better before that, but he's given up at least 3 runs in each of his starts and some of those 4, 5, 7-run outings. So he's consistently giving up runs. Just question is how bad is it going to be? Meanwhile, France, 4 straight quality starts. Last 2 versus Dodgers and Reds, 2 of the better teams in baseball. Reds, especially the way they're playing right now, 5 runs and 12 2/3, been pretty solid. Better on the road. Want to come with Houston in this matchup. Arenado might not be in today. Got to see what's going on with him. He's had a little issue after leaving last night. It's just tough with that matchup coming up with the Rangers this weekend. If there was no look ahead to Texas this weekend, it would be easy to back Houston here. Easy to go against Wainwright the way he's been giving up runs so consistently. Maybe for you guys who like first 5 plays, could be a first 5 over the way Wainwright's been consistently giving up stuff. It's just tough to go on Houston with the look ahead to Texas. That's keeping me off this game.
And the big come from behind win yesterday and the look ahead. And that's just what we call a sandwich game. Other than that, look at the spot. France definitely has the pitching edge. Wainwright, guys, been great for a lot of years, but he's just a name. Look at the stats. He's been getting drilled. Let's say the 7 runs, that's because of London, and they're going to score more runs there and stuff, but he just has not been pitching good baseball. Had his first quality start the time before that against the Mets, 6 1/3 and 3 runs, I believe. So not a blowout start by any stretch of the imagination. France, big pitching advantage, but coming back off the win. Remember, Houston still, let's pull up the stats. Houston still just 4-8 their last 12 games. Remember, without Yordan Alvarez in the lineup, he's going to be out till mid-July. He's going to be out till after the All-Star break. They're just having a rough time of it. So very tough to make them a road favorite in the sandwich game. The line's pretty much right where I make it. With Arenado out, I'm expecting him to be out. He came out of the game last night. So we'll lay off this one unless something crazy happens. You could have again, usually could sit some guys going into the weekend series. Altuve's been in and out of that. Now, he hits the big home run last night. Does he sit today? Do they rest him? Did they give Bregman a couple of guys off? We'll see. We'll wait on the lineups.
That's the 11-game card today we have going on today. So baseball guys heating up, 5 straight winning days, up over 12 units on the week. Been treating us pretty well. If you guys aren't a member yet, make sure you guys go check that out. Go to the website or the app. No better time to sign up, John.
Yeah, look, yesterday, by the time we're done shooting the podcast, the Rockies still didn't have a pitcher. There wasn't a number on the game. That was our biggest bet of the day, a 2-unit bet plus a 185 dog. $100 if you're $100 per unit better, that's $370. That's the fucking price for the month, guys. But more than the price for the month. Anyway, best bargain you're going to get, best sports betting information anywhere. howtobeatthebookie.com.
Yep, guys, go sign up, check that out, and appreciate you guys who've been tuning in every day. Please like, subscribe, comment below, help us grow this thing, and we'll keep giving you guys some solid information. John, we got some day games to get to. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.